Welcome back, everyone, to another fantastic week of World of Tanks here at the WGL APAC-ASIA 2015 Season 1. This is the Gold Series. My name is Susie Kim. This is Wolf Schroeder. How are you doing today, Wolf?
Very, very well, Susie, and we've got some really good tank matches today. Three of our best teams coming out to play today. They're facing some of their weaker opponents, so we'll see if these weaker teams can actually make a dent in these stronger teams. But, you know, it should be a good day of matches no matter what, because we've got these really strong teams. No matter who they're playing against, they like to show good play.
I think that'll be really good for the slightly weaker teams to have this kind of experience, play against more difficult teams, try to learn strategy from them, and perhaps gain that experience of playing against a more versed team. Say if you will say it that way. Yeah.
For sure, for sure. So I guess we're going to take a look at some of our rules and formats, as well as the map pool for this tournament. Here it is. Here it is.
Like we said, guys, this is the APAC-ASIA Gold Series League. We start on June 1st. We are 4 weeks in. This is actually, I think, the start of the 5th week. And as you see, the playoffs will be on August 3rd, and then finals will be shortly after that. The finals, we have not only the Asian teams, but it's going to be with the Korean teams and the Chinese server teams as well. So it should be an incredible time.
Yeah, definitely going to be a really, really awesome finals. I'm looking forward to that one. Just to point out, perhaps one of our most important points here is the point system. You get 3 points for a win, 2 points for winning a tiebreaker, 1 point for a loss by tiebreaker. But if you straight up lose vanilla, then you get 0 points. So you definitely want to, if you can, at least force that tiebreaker. If you're going to lose, better to lose and get 1 point.
Right, and I really do like this point system. It kind of adds a lot of variety to how these teams can go back and forth on the ranking list. And I mean, as of right now, like you said, some of the stronger teams are playing today. And if we can take a look at the ranks, we'll talk about the teams first. Yep. Some of the stronger teams, like we said, B Gaming, Karen Tigers, both teams that will be playing today. Actually, EL Gaming is not. But we do see Immortals, and we're going to see Team Efficiency and Run show up today.
Yep. So no Horseman, no Elong, but definitely a good day of matches, just the same. A few of these teams played a few matches in a row. They're going to be taking a bit of a rest day today on this Monday. Of course, they'll play on Thursday, but a great setup of teams, and we've already started to see who the best teams are in this league. And I'm really hoping that Run can make a dent today, because they did take their very first win last week versus Coalition. So
that was a great series. Yeah, that was actually a really, really fun series. If you guys haven't seen that, I would suggest, if you want some good entertainment factor, go ahead and watch that series between Run and the Coalition, because a lot of funny games there. Yeah,
definitely, and it went all the way to a tiebreaker, so really, really rad series, and the last game was pretty fiery and exciting. These two like to trade blow for blow and fight very early on in their matches, so a lot of excitement there.
It is actually going to be amazing. But let's not talk about last week. Let's go ahead and talk about the rankings. So EL Gaming, all the way on top, 18 points, and this is even after they missed a day and disqualified. Sure. But they have definitely been on fire, won every single one of them. Karen Tigers coming in very close to them, 14 points, and if they win today, they'll be right behind them again.
Yep, Horseman not playing today, but B Gaming with a win today would be right on the tails of Karen Tiger and Elong as well, depending on how well Karen Tiger does, that is to say, because if both of those teams win, which is likely to be the case, they're going to be at the same point differential either way. The Immortals down there at 9 points, and Team Efficiency very close to starting to break into that middle ground at 7. Unfortunately, Coalition and Run still down there towards the bottom.
But Run still has 2 points. I am really excited that everyone now has a couple of points to their names, and we can see this rank list kind of. Obviously, we see EL and Karen on top, and we've been seeing Run on the bottom. But it's really interesting to see how these teams have been trying to, go back and forth right around the middle.
Sure, it's starting to fill out a little bit. You can almost divide it into tiers at this point. But towards the top, especially, it's harder to draw those lines because these teams are so close in points. And that's what makes this league so exciting right now, because there's teams that are just 1 or 2 points away from each other. And you have a team like Elong that's way up there at the top, but there's other teams that are trying to catch up and very well could catch up towards the end of this round.
That's actually pretty good. And I do enjoy that. I like the underdog kind of trying to, claw their way back up there. But As of right now, the middle ground, they all seem pretty similar in terms of skills. So I can't even say who the underdog is.
Yeah, it's really hard to say going to that middle ground. Let's take a look at today's matches. Speaking
of middle ground, Team Efficiency and Immortals. That's a 5th and 6th place match, basically, right there.
Yeah.
We have TCSG, that's the Coalition, versus B Gaming. That might be a little bit tougher for them, but again, it's a good experience for them to play against a strong team like B Gaming. And the third match of the day will be Karen Tiger versus Run.
Karen Tiger heavily favored in that match. I feel like it's the most one-sided match we might have today. But Run looking to maybe continue their streak of taking that tiebreaker win just last Thursday, so maybe they will be able to get that. Our tiebreaker map will be Runeberg for this set of matches today, so we'll be seeing that if either of these teams go into tiebreakers. Doesn't seem likely today, but it's good to know.
Hey, I don't know. I think match 1 may be able to get to a tiebreaker. I mean, it depends on how Team Efficiency has been doing. We've been saying Team Efficiency is one of those teams that likes to, if they're on an on day, they're really on, but some days they're really not. So we're going to have to see. Hopefully they'll show us a little more consistency, but we need to see what kind of day it is today.
Yeah, Team Efficiency is definitely one of my favorite teams in this league. They've shown a lot of personality, and they're definitely a really exciting team that has a variety of strategies they can pull from.
All right, well, speaking of that, we are going to go straight into game number 1 on steps. Welcome to set number 1 of the evening, Team Efficiency versus Immortals, and we have the Immortals on the defense first. Let's take a look at that tanks.
Let's talk about the tank list. For Team Efficiency, running all lightweights with the 12-ton, all those T-54s as you expect. And on the defensive side for the Immortals, they run 2 T-32s, as well as those lightweights and the 59-16. Now, we do see a lot of teams running 1 T-32. Sometimes we see 2. In this case, they're going to be running 2. They're going to use that defensively on the edge of some of these little hills, where they're just going to use that hull down, protect their turret, protect their hull using only their exposed turret, which has, of course, high armor, very difficult to penetrate.
Right, and just like you said, I mean, with those T-32s, I expect them to line up and kind of fan out towards the northeastern side of the map, as you can see them doing right now. I mean, it's the way that the hills are formed there. It's just a perfect location for those T-32s to really be able to do optimal damage without taking too much hit. So we can see that the 12-ton is going to try to hide its way into this little bush and give their team a bit of vision, but the rest of them all kind of grouped up together as of right now.
Yeah, very aggressive scout there, but we see this very common. D-Juice is going to move back now as he knows that he's gotten the information he needs, and it's very likely that his opponent's team might even fire some blind shots at that bush, as it's a very common hiding spot. The T-32s are exactly where you'd expect them to be, towards the northeast, like you were saying, right near the spawning point, right behind those hills. Very well positioned. It's that arc defensive formation that we're seeing to the northeast that we see most defensive teams doing right now, instead of rushing, trying to defend the railroad tracks. You see a very careful move towards a capture point here.
Yeah, I see that. Sun hiding away, just trying to see if we can get a good shot. We can see that 3 members of Team Efficiency have decided to go all the way up north to see if they could pick off tanks. They know that there's going to be a T-32 hidden back there. I mean, this is a very common strategy. And with 3 tanks focusing down 1, I mean, it's very possible that they could get rid of that tank.
That's exactly what they're trying to do here, Susie. Even Dexta moving up towards that high ground hill that we've seen him take quite a few times. You can get a little bit more vision to work with. You're not shooting through as many obstacles, and you're firing from a high up location down onto these tanks. You see him take the shot on Hades, actually. Does end up missing it, and not a single point of damage has actually gone on to either of these teams. Actually looks like Blackheart took a little bit of damage. I spoke too soon. But very little damage done to either teams at this point. Just a very slow positioning game, which is how this map is going to evolve in this league. It started out to be crazy ramming Elong style. Now it's very positional, very slow, very safe.
Yes, it definitely is. You could tell both teams know that they want to get this win. I mean, like we said, it's a 5th versus 6th place match. They want the points. They want 3 points, not 2.
Yep.
And so taking it very slow, more shots being fired, but nothing's really connecting right now. You could see that Sirius, Blackheart, and now Sun have been spotted. Their 6th sense have gone off. But, yeah, I mean, we're just kind of waiting it out. Like I said, it looks like they're trying to isolate that T-32 all the way up top. Sirius is the only tank up there. And if those 3 members of Yeah, like there's Death Skies. He's just waiting to see that shot on Sirius. But taking out a heavy tank right now would be huge for team efficiency.
Absolutely, especially an isolated one like this would allow them a lot more wiggle room and allow them a lot more space to actually start threatening that capture. Notice Dexta very carefully positioned here constantly. Tried to take that shot on Blackheart, was able to hit that one. But the Sirius is very well protected, and if either of these tanks that are towards the very far north of the map try to force the issue too much, they're going to run into fire from not only the T-32s, but another lightweight that's there to protect as well.
Yeah, Blackheart and Hades right just waiting to give that reinforcement cover if he needs to. But now there is 3 minutes and 27 seconds left on the clock, and team efficiency is going to have to do something and make some sort of move. Remember, the time is always going to be on the defensive side, and so Immortals, as long as they play it out patiently, they're just waiting for team efficiency to do something, possibly make a mistake.
Yeah, I mean, the time here is running out. We're getting towards kind of like the 3-minute mark is a bit scary. The 2-minute mark is really scary. We just don't have that much time to work with. So they're going to start threatening that base capture with the 12-ton, an expendable tank, but not one that's going to be able to take a lot of hits. So it's very important that they try to zone for him. Ma is doing just that. You can see right in front of him there. And it looks like they're going to try to go for the kill on the Sirius like you were talking about before.
Yep, they just need to get rid of this T-32, but they're missing their shots. That's no good.
Yeah.
Death Skies and Dexta are going to try to pull back a little bit. Sirius obviously knows he is the focus of it. Ma is going to come help him out. Dexta takes some damage. Ma is going to come and take his spot. Hopefully this 3v1 will work out for team efficiency, but they're going to have to be a lot more accurate. Look at this, man. They're like taking shots at him, but it's not penetrating at all.
Not even close.
And now the rest of the team, Immortals, knows that there's 3 members up there, and they're going to just try to clean up this little crew.
You know, had Idis or Grips been in the capture point while this is happening, I feel like this would have been a much more efficient strategy because they didn't do much for them there. And the 55 seconds that were left is not a really big scary thing for the Immortals right now, so they were able to carefully move over here. We're not distracted by that capture point at all. Sirius takes out Dexta immediately here, and Grift is very, very low. This is starting to look pretty bad, Susie.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's 2 battles going on, one up north and one over by the base capture point. Obviously, they were trying to lure in members up north, but it didn't work. Everyone knew where everyone was. Now it's just like a full-out brawl. There's members of each team falling to one another. We are at, I mean, it's pretty, HP-wise, Immortals is up a bit, but you can see here now it's just kind of like a brawl. Everyone's in the middle. There's no protection, and they're just going to start shooting at each other. Death Skies is still up.
Yeah, the problem here is that team efficiency is forced to now try to capture with only a minute left, with tanks that are very low on health. Should they decide to go for the kill, it's going to be basically impossible. With 3 lightweight tanks that can run away and have such high health, they basically don't have enough time to cap or kill. So they've basically been checkmated here. Looks like they might just try to go for one last triple tank cap attempt with Siki moving in, but it's so risky.
Siki is moving in. He's the only one with full health over on team efficiency side. But you know what? Sun also is 100% healthy as well. And so he knows what's going on. Base capture in 19 seconds, but I don't think that's going to be enough. Siki is going to move out. Base capture goes back up to 30 seconds.
Yep. It's important that D-Juice doesn't take damage here. He's the one that's done the most capture. Hades taking a lot of hits.
He is taking a lot of hits. Siki and D-Juice are going to try to surround him. D-Juice does go down, though. Siki's the last man standing, and I don't think he's going to be able to do it. Even if he takes down Hades, there's 2 other tanks just waiting for him.
He can't capture the point by himself in 15 seconds, nor can he kill the remainder of the tanks. So this game is essentially already over, Susie. We're just going to watch Siki maybe get destroyed here, not even necessarily. But again, the game is already over. There's nothing he can do. He's just running around in circles here. We got 2,
3, 2,
1. Immortals takes game 1.
Well, good for Siki for not dying. He, stood his ground and made sure that, I don't know, moral victory or something along those lines.
So the attempt there with Dexta to move in with those lightweights to take out the T-32 is a good idea, but they missed their shots.
Yes.
And you pointed that out, and that was very important. Had they gotten their shots there and perhaps killed it or damaged it critically, would have been worth it. But instead, they only had their 1 Tier 6 tank on the capture point. So with 1 tank there, the rest of the tanks not able to give support fire. They ended up getting themselves out of position, and instead of panicking about the capture that was going on, the Immortals were like, that's 1 tank in there. We still got 55, 60 seconds left. I'm not really concerned about that. I'm going to deal with these tanks. I'm going to surround them and kill them. Once I did that, they had too much of an advantage. And even though they were down on tanks at the end there, they just hit all their shots.
Yeah.
So they were able to wipe them out. Like eventually, one by one, these tanks got taken down to pieces.
Yeah, like you said, and I also noticed that going up north, they were trying to lure the rest of the team, rest of Immortals to come up north so that team efficiency can cap. But obviously, they didn't fall for that trick and became this big brawl everywhere on the map. And
I feel like if they had sent Idis in with that tier 6 tank, would have been much easier to actually threaten the capture point. Would have gone down twice as fast. Would have forced a lot more pressure. And then even if they lost one of their tanks or lost a few hit points on those lightweights that were trying to pressure the T-32s, then at least they would have had this deeper pressure. Would have allowed them to maybe draw some of the tanks back. Would have been a fairer fight. But instead, Idis was just over there, kind of by himself. Was there to help support if the tanks were approaching from another side. But why would he be there when he's trying to force the tanks to go to the other location instead? So he was like a spotter, but he didn't accomplish anything. It was kind of a weird choice.
Yeah, it was a weird choice. You are completely right. I think they should have been a little more aggressive.
Yeah.
And maybe a little more accurate in their shots.
Well, yeah, that was the key point with the first attack. It was really smart. If they had connected all their shots, it would have wiped the T-32 off the map. Second T-32 over there would have not been able to withstand that much. Would have had to pull back, and it would have been on the Immortals to actually reposition rather than just easily moving in and saying, wow, you're all on reload. I'm going to take out your tanks or force them back at least.
Okay, well, that was a great set 1. We're going to go ahead and not talk about set 2, but actually watch set 2. Let's go. Okay, set 2. We are on steps, ladies and gentlemen. Immortals still on the defense, and let's look at their tanks.
Well, tank-wise, 14 efficiency, no changes. However, on the Immortals, they are actually bringing in IS-3 onto steps, which is very rare. You see this every now and then. Elong has done this before. Team Efficiency has done this before. Most has done this before. And I want to say Karen Tigers has done this before as well. Just bringing one IS-3. Going to be good in the pinch. Often, obviously, good for blocking in a fight. And it's just a good tank overall. I mean, the IS-3 is one of the best heavy tanks in the game. That's why we see it on every city map as the majority of the tanks. But the drawback of using it on this map is it's a very open map. It does take a lot of time to close the distance on where you want to go. And it looks like the IS-3's job here is going to be to help support the T-32s. They saw their own vulnerability. In that last game, they're thinking to themselves like, wow, I'm glad they missed those shots because we're a bit vulnerable there. And this time they're expecting probably Team Efficiency will do the same sort of attack, and they've got that IS-3 backup. So I do like this a lot. This makes a lot of sense. Okay.
Well, right now on the map, we can see that Immortals is not going to stretch all the way up north like they usually do. Right now, D-Juice is kind of hiding and making a lot of noise. I've noticed he's like banging into the rocks and stuff, possibly trying to let Immortals know that he's there. While the rest of the team, they're kind of spread out all across the northwestern side of the map. D-Juice coming back to join his team. This is a little bit different.
Yeah, this is a bit different. I mean, last game he came back too, but this time he's coming back much earlier. Looks like he just does not want to be vulnerable over there. Because I said, like I said last game, there's a tank there. It's probably that 12-ton in the bush because that's the most common strategy for the attacking side to scout, just to make sure the Immortals aren't doing some sort of weird south push, which you do see every now and then. And if you don't see that coming, you'll probably lose to it because you're going to be way out of position to defend.
Yeah, well, speaking of south pushes, it looks like Team Efficiency is going all the way back to their spawning spot and then possibly come around the other side.
Yeah, it looks like it, and this is pretty cool. We very rarely see teams do this. It's like they basically canceled their approach and their setup, and they're going to go into something totally different. And they're slowly moving their way towards that location. This is something that the Immortals don't know yet.
No, they are still waiting in that northeastern position. We do have a tank all the way in the mountains, though, like we saw the T-21 that one day, remember? Yeah. But yeah, DJ's just making a ton of noises. He's going all the way around. He's going to try to skirt around that capture point, possibly try to get Immortals to come all the way. Oh, I think this is what they're going to do. They're going to try to get the Immortals to come to the western capture point by DJ's making all this noise and such, right? And then when everyone's away, we've got the rest of the team trying to capture that base on the right.
They're keeping the buddy system up, if you will, here with these T-54s. Everyone's got a partner. And with the 12-ton to the north, they threatened the capture for a moment, but I think it was maybe perhaps just coincidental. They want to threaten the idea that these T-32s are exposed again, which is what we saw last game. And then, like you said, to draw the tanks to deal, to more focus more, seriously on that western capture point while they approach over here. Now they've been spotted. Let's see if they can take out Unreal Rogue here. He's very out of position, but he did his job. He saw these tanks coming, which means that now the Immortals have some time to react.
Yes, and he is still alive, guys. I mean, he didn't take all that much damage. He's a little more than half health up. Sun now has been spotted as well. His Sixth Sense has come up. These guys need to get rid of at least one tank. You're running 3 tanks together. Guys, focus fire one of them and give your team an advantage.
Here comes that two-pronged attack now moving from the west, trying to come in here. There's an IS-3 in great position, though. And that's Ningyu on that IS-3. He's going to help protect that 5916, the Tier 6 tank. And this is a very aggressive move here by Team Efficiency. Let's see if it pans out for them.
Oh,
very aggressive.
This is a do or die. Yes, Griff's is taking some damage to make it that a lot of damage. But for some reason, they're not. Team Efficiency is not connecting to any of the Immortals tanks.
Yeah, none of their shots are going through, and this is starting to become a bit concerning, a bit alarming, because now they're way out of position. They're in a position where the fan out and basically the arc that the Immortals have here is much better. They can focus fire at their own will. They're in a much better position, very well fanned out here. And Siki taking so much damage here. The Sirius, a shot misses him again. And even Blackheart is just very confident with Hades coming back here to back them up now.
Yep, Dexter is coming to see if he can help out his buddies over here. I mean, it's a 2v3 at this point in close range. And they should be able to take out Blackheart, just going to go around and surround him. But Sirius is right behind them as well. Dexter taking a ton of damage. Idis as well. I mean, I just really wish that Team Efficiency could hit their shots, and I think they'd be able to do better. Their strategy was great.
Now keep in mind, there is 7 seconds left on that base capture. Ningyu has to hit this. He absolutely cannot miss this shot. Okay, good shot there, but that's just the beginning. The Catan and Ningyu will have to move in here to deny this yet again. They cannot miss this. 2 seconds left to go. Okay,
oh, shoot.
Hit it again. Need to hit it one more time.
One more time.
I don't know if they can do it. Okay. Oh, they hit DG. That's the most important.
There you go. Base capture is back up to 97 seconds. That was, whew.
Very desperate by Team Efficiency, but a good tactic. It nearly got them a win there. Had they been able to avoid that shot. Catan, though, will eliminate D-Juice here momentarily, and all that's left then is Death Skies. So this looks like it's another win here for the Immortals.
Yep, D-Juice has 2 rounds. He had 2 shells, but obviously that wasn't going to be enough. Death Skies, the last one left. That was a pretty good strategy, like you said. Team Efficiency trying really hard, and with the Ram, Sun goes ahead and gets that win for Immortals.
So now a 2-0 score here for the Immortals before we switch sides. They will be going on the attack. So we'll see if they want to run a very aggressive lightweight composition, as you'd expect to see, and how Team Efficiency wants to defend. Because we have seen Team Efficiency in the past run just one T-32, or sometimes run all lightweights even on the defense, and try to just basically outfight their opponents in a 7v7.
Well, at this point, we could see, I don't think they're going to be able to outfight their opponents.
Not if they keep missing.
No, they're just not on their game today. That's the feeling I'm getting. I was going to ask you about that IS-3, actually. Sorry to kind of switch.
Okay, so the IS-3 was really cool because I think the role of the IS-3 in that situation was to protect the 2 T-32s. They expected that Team Efficiency would attack that location and get to the top, because it was a good plan.
Right.
Unfortunately, they missed their shots. And I think that when a good plan works like that, I mean, to a certain extent, you're like, okay, oh, we missed. But if we had hit, that would have been good. And I think the Immortals were like, oh, they missed. That was pretty good for us, so we need to respond to this. So they brought the Bodyguard IS-3, and it worked out for them in the end, because even though Team Efficient didn't attack there, they were able to take better fights. Their accuracy was always better. And they had one lightweight tank. I'm not sure which player it was, but he was up in the mountains. He took several shots on Dexter. Dexter got really low. Then when he was fighting, he just wasn't able. He got 1 kill, then he went down. Everyone was very low, and it just snowballed out of control. Then they desperately sent those tanks to the capture point. Really smart idea, because it was out of position. It was way far away from the Immortals. And that's why we had to see those tanks barely got there in time. The IS-3's like trying to chase. I gotta get that one shot.
But the IS-3 obviously does really good damage. He was very accurate with that shot. He was the clutch guy, man. He's the one who kind of let the time, work for Immortal's side.
Yeah, and it was Siki. I can't remember exactly which player it was, but one of the players who had the most points on the capture kept being blocked by that other lightweight tank. And had he been blocked one more time, that would have actually been game, and they would have won it. But the bullet actually, or the shell, excuse me, ricocheted off and hit both tanks, so it went back up to 99. But that was very close. Had he missed again, it probably would have gone up to 4. And if they had missed one more time, that would have been probably game there.
All right.
If he had missed both tanks, of course, that would have absolutely been game. So a really close attempt there at the very end, but just not good enough.
But yeah, like you said, it's all about that accuracy and the efficiency of shooting, right? So we're getting news that Team Efficiency, now that they're switching sides, is going to be changing players. They're going to take Maw out and put in Elite.
Okay. Well, we haven't seen too much of Elite, to be honest.
No, I haven't.
We see Maw almost every time. But Elite, definitely a player we haven't seen as much, perhaps maybe a bit more well-versed on this map. Could be the guy we see on Tier 6. A lot of different things could happen here.
Yes, that is very true. And looks like the game is ready, so we're going to go ahead, switch sides, game number 3. Set number 3 on steps. Team Efficiency versus Immortals. Immortals up 2 games, and now on the attack.
So as I was saying before, Susie, you know, a high chance we see, even on the defense, Team Efficiency rolling, you know, mostly lightweights, but they're going to bring 2 T-32s. So they're basically mirroring the comp that we saw from the Immortals last game, with the exception of the IS-3, so it's like game 1. And on the Immortals side, even though they're on the attack, they do bring 1 T-32, which is really interesting. I'm wondering how they're going to use that to position, and of course the rest of things are going to be lightweights and 5916 for the Tier 6 lightweight. So unique situation here with that 1 T-32. Looks like it's actually kind of lagging at the back here a bit. It's a bit slower than the rest of those T-54s. And
well, yeah, I mean,
a heavy tank on steps. There you go.
Yeah, heavy tank on steps. What's it gonna do? Huff and puff and try to follow his light tank friends. Unreal Rogue on the 5916, the Chinese Tier 6 tank, and D-Juice, the counterpart. Both teams running that the 5916s.
Well, already seen some shots being taken here by the Immortals on these lightweight tanks. Neither connecting so far.
No, they're not. But, you know, they're letting each other know where they are. Location is obviously important, just kind of making some noise. And, yeah, shots are being fired. Nothing is connecting.
Yeah, and they're actually going to basically start to surround this western capture point, and they're getting into a really good position. Team Efficiency sent a lot of their tanks to the southeast for some reason. Perhaps they misjudged the movements of the Immortals, but that's going to cost them positioning here, because right now the Immortals are fanned out in such a way that this is basically a standstill, where they're right on top of the capture point at these railroad tracks. It's going to be very difficult for the Team Efficiency to actually get into a favorable position. They do run those 2 T-32s, but I personally feel that one of them is a bit out of position. The one to the north is in a good spot, but the one that's towards the east capture point is not where you want to have your T-32.
No, that's a little
That's Death's
far.
guys right there, way too out in the middle. He's like not utilizing the fact he's a T-32 at all, right there. Well, you can see he's got a little bit of a hill there, but not ideal.
Not ideal at all. And I mean, Unreal Rogue kind of scouting out, making sure there's no, you know, counter, like no backdoor attack, basically, right? And so he's just kind of driving around. Oh yeah, you're right. It stands still 4 minutes and 43 seconds. D-Juice still in that bush, and I know they've been trying to take hits on him, but that rock has been really doing a good job of giving him good cover.
Yep, in a good position there. Well, time is starting to, of course, work against the Immortals, but I feel they're in such a good position that they're not too concerned about that just yet. When we go down to, say, you know, 2 minutes 45 seconds, 2 minutes 30, they're going to be a bit more concerned, but as is right now, no rush. Blackheart in a really good spot with his T-32, so this is where he wanted to be, and this is going to be a place where he's got such good cover with those rocks there, and he's actually trying to, looks like, take a shot at Siki.
Yeah, okay, so now, I mean, you can just see Siki, Griff's, Elite all taking shots at Blackheart. They want, like I said, they want to get rid of the heavy tank. They want to get rid of the tank that's going to do the most amount of damage, but they're not connecting. This is an issue.
All right, well, you know, in this case, I don't feel like it's an issue of their accuracy so much as it's an issue of the positioning on Blackheart is really good. It's very, I almost feel like rather than their accuracy, it's the issue. They're trying to focus on a tank that just simply will not be focused at this point in time. I think it's better to actually perhaps try to take out Ningyo, for example, because again, 3 shots fired here, all 3 of them miss completely.
Blackheart's just sitting pretty all the way up top. Elite taking a shot too. No one is connecting anything.
Looks like we're going to see a big lightweight push towards the south as these tanks are super focused on that T-32. it's clearly their intent to take this out.
Wow, look at Blackheart. He's just like perfectly aligned with this hill, not taking any damage, and all the members of Team Efficiency are so focused on taking him down, I don't think they even care what the rest of the Immortals are doing at this point.
I want to point out that Blackheart is literally only taking one shot as well.
I know, and that was way in the beginning.
He's just being very patient. He's focusing not on his reticle, he's not focusing on his accuracy here, not focusing on it, actually focusing and taking a shot, but just simply maneuvering and making sure he doesn't take any damage while his team outpositioned to the south. There is one T-54 lightweight looking to spot this, but let's see if they can actually turn around and react quickly enough.
I don't know, man. If that's just that one tank and he's got 4 tanks coming at him, that might not be the best situation for him. Unreal Rogue does take a lot of damage trying to capture that base, but he pulls out in time, so he is alive, 88 HP, and hiding behind the house. Idis, on the other hand,
Up and around here.
He's coming around.
This is a good move to try to capture the point with the 59-16. He goes down here, but again, draws them away. Now, Hades in a good position, and position-wise, much better position for the Immortals, but they are down a tank. Got some hit point deficiency as well, but look at this. Look at how much damage they're able to do with the accuracy they have as well as their positioning, forcing Team Efficiency to completely rotate their turrets, get into a better position here. And, we've got these T-54s trying to take cover versus this position of the Immortals that's fanned out. Look at how they're moving around. They're actually going to sneak around Hades as well in a perfect position here.
That is really, really good positioning by the Immortals. And yeah, here we go. It looks like TE is going to try to take out Hades. He is the lowest of the 4, but now it's just a brawl right in the center. There's not much to hide. This little hill can't do much. Hades does go down. Focused fired really quick. Catan seems to be next in line. But Death Skies, obviously not. Maybe he can get one more shot off before he dies?
Nope.
No, he did not.
Siki gets a kill though, and this is still very close. His efficiency massively ahead. Sun gets hit with a critical hit there. He will get taken out.
Wow. And now it's just a brawl. Blackheart is just sitting pretty all the way outside, though. He's just kind of watching and taking shots from afar, which is really smart because he doesn't want to be in this crossfire, obviously.
Well, this is looking like it's just going to be a pretty quick closeout here. Well, not quick, but we will be finishing quickly is what I mean to say. 50 seconds left to go on the clock. There's no way the Immortals are going to be able to cap, and they've got one tank left. It's their T-32.
Ooh, look at that.
And that is going to do it.
That's going to do it. Sharks just circling around this one tank, and he explodes. Team Efficiency goes ahead and takes a win.
Yep, that's game 3 for you. So what we saw there basically was the Immortals tried to be a bit too aggressive with that push. When their opponents saw them and reacted and got into position, they continued to force the issue, and they were way too aggressive. One of the lightweights was right in the middle of everybody, got crit hit and went down to like no health, and just got hit again a second time. The second tank got very low, and then it was a numbers game they could not win. The T-32 they had hiding in the rocks was not participating in that fight, which his job was to distract those tanks and bring the attention there while they moved around the other side. But because he wasn't in the fight, once they reacted, they just ignored him. And they took out the 59-16, and then they went and took the better fight.
To be fair, Blackheart did an amazing job distracting the rest of the team. I think if Immortals were able to just come around and patiently, maybe a little better coordination would have helped out a bit more instead of going to a full-out brawl because the positioning was not favorable to them in that.
No, yeah, I mean, I have nothing against the T-32 positioning. That was actually pretty good, but it's just that because he was there when the fight happened, he couldn't help. There was nothing he could do. He was trying to get in there, and that's why he ended up going down last, because he just simply wasn't in that fight. He was there by the end of things, and good moves by Team Efficiency, good reactions is the most important thing.
Yeah, I think that was very good reactions. So going into set 4, I'm pretty sure they'll stay with the same tanks. Yeah,
most likely, as well as the same players. I don't think we'll be seeing any player changes. That would kind of weird me out a little bit.
Yeah.
But I wonder what the Immortals are going to do. They might actually decide to do something a bit more aggressive early on, maybe do a different type of push, because it seems to be a bit predictable. And we're seeing this map turn into a very, very stale map to a certain extent. Like, we're seeing the same strategy for both teams every time, and it's just simply a shootout across the desert. It's not about the movement, it's not about the attacks, it's not about the rushing like we've seen in the past. It's just a straight shootout right across the steps.
All right, well, game is ready. We're going to go to game 4 on steps. Aha! I knew they were going to go with the IS-3. For some reason, I had this feeling, man, that in set 4, we're going to see another IS-3.
Yeah, and they're not bringing the T-32 this time. That's what they've exchanged it with. So the IS-3 will be rocking with all those T-54s and the 5916. No surprises there. And we do see Team Efficiency bringing the 2 T-32s, as we've seen become a bit more standard on this map. They're moving out, getting into that normal defensive position. Let's see if the Immortals are able to do anything different with the IS-3 this time. Obviously, they might put it in that same spot. They had the T-32 last game, because that's a good spot for that as well. But it doesn't get the same sort of extra bonus from the turret armor at the top.
Right, of course. And we could see here, the positioning is a little bit different. They've allowed Unreal Rogue, so for Immortals anyway, Unreal Rogue just going up and down that road. Obviously, he's going to scout a bit for his team. And the T-54 left back by the base. That's kind of interesting. While the rest of the team is going to head out to the west up by the railroad tracks.
Yeah, that is interesting. On this map, a lot of teams would send their own 5916 on the defense to the south to spot, so maybe they were going to try to take that out. But that's not how Team Efficiency's been playing this one. We see the Sirius and Ningyo again approaching the railroad tracks, trying to get a shot off on D-Juice. Not going to happen. Too good of a position. And this is, again, this map has become a shootout. It's like an old western or something.
It really is. I mean, it even seems that they're just shooting at something. I don't even see what they're focusing on. Yeah, like you said, it's a big shootout. We always have a defending team to the east and the Immortals to the west, and you know they're going to come out like snapping fingers and
yeah.
You know, like I just feel like it's just going to become a big Western musical. I don't know. I'm sorry.
No, I know. I totally.
I'm thinking of West Side Story. That's what it is.
I'm totally feeling you. But this is the story is West Side Story here for the Immortals, trying to take the West Side here. And they have, and they're in quite good position. They actually leave Unreal Rogue in this very aggressive position as well, which I do like. It's risky, but it's going to maybe give them the edge they need to take a fight. They're approaching now that T-32.
Ooh, Death Sky is finally taking some damage. Yeah. He is the first hit of this game.
D-Juice is in a very, very risky spot.
Dexta as well. Okay, well now slowly Team Efficiency is getting chipped away, and we can see that the shots are hitting. Immortals are doing a very good job of that. Elite trying to take a shot at Catan, but misses. Same with Griffs.
Yep, and Death Skies as well takes another shot and misses. Both teams shooting at each other here again. It's just a shootout. Snipers versus snipers, essentially, shooting across the plains. And this is just a very, very careful, calm sort of approach to the map, which makes me sad because I love the way this map used to be played in Asia.
I love the way, yeah, me too. I mean, this was one of my favorite maps because people used to just run into each other and just try to shoot each other out. But both of these teams have been playing very patiently.
Yeah.
All of the games so far, really. We could see some shots being fired in front of D-Juice. He is hidden away, does not get hit by it. But yeah, 3 minutes and 36 seconds left.
Yep, that shot right there.
One by one. Immortals is still 100% HP right now.
Yep. That one shot that we saw Griff's take was just so off on the series. Not even phased by this at all. So, you know, it's just a very, very strenuous situation for the Immortals the longer this goes on, because they're approaching that 3-minute mark, which is when you start to have to worry about, is it possible to capture this?
All right, well, Unreal Rogue, he is going to leave his post, break down a tree, and see if he could take a look, and I think he might start capping, or not.
No, look that way, but it looks like he's just going to go and see if he can take a pot shot. Maybe perhaps try to shoot the 5916 of the other team, D-Juice here, being the one he might try to focus down.
All right, Immortals need to start doing something. I mean, okay, well...
That's one thing.
That's one thing. Sirius goes ahead and takes down their Tier 6 tank, and then there were 6.
They might be able to force a fight soon here, but they are approaching from the south. We're seeing the same sort of rotation on this map from the attacking team. Death Sky's trying to take these shots, they're not working.
All of these tanks on Team Efficiency really trying to hit the Catan, but Katan's, I mean, I know it's an IS-3 and I know he's got a lot of armor, but man, I want to see stats on like their shot efficiency here, basically.
It's pretty bad if you look at it.
Oh, finally, Katan takes a little bit of damage.
But he's not going to be in position for this engagement that we're going to have here. 3 lightweights to 2. Dexta and Idis, the line of defense, and in fact, Sun is coming in as well, so to make this a 4v2.
All right,
Meanwhile,
Unreal Rogue is going to try to capture this base. It is at 90 seconds. They know that they absolutely need to do this. Idis taking a ton of damage. Ningyo is going to take another shot at him as well, and Dexta goes down, Idis goes down, kill, yep. Blackheart comes and joins the battle. The Sirius is outside, but he knows that he could do some damage from there. Yep. Takes a shot at Siki, takes down 211 HP, and now it's looking a lot better for the Immortals. Base capture is still going on with 68 seconds left. The rest of the team, Immortals, is going to just kind of run in, see if they can clean up shop.
Yep, the Catan having a ton of armor, you can actually finally move out of his hiding spot here, outmaneuvering this T-32. Yeah, he's going to go down here, but it's worth it. Siki and Elite both picking up 2 kills here, which does give them a bit of a tank advantage temporarily, but as you guys can see, Blackheart gets a tank out. Ningyo, luckily, does survive for now. It's just, again, outmaneuvering these T-32s. Death Skies will fall here, and actually not by ram, which I thought he would.
I thought he was going to ram him as well.
Looks like he was focusing on Siki instead, but he's still going to fall.
He is. He had 33 HP. Elite is the last man standing, and not for long, though.
Notice on this map, the T-32 is always the last to go, just simply because they're the tanks that you can outmaneuver when you start to get ahead, so you don't actually have to finish them off. And this is going to be a sad, sad ending here.
Elite did try to take a shot on Ningyo, see if he can take one down with him, but that also didn't penetrate. It ricocheted right off the top, and Immortals go ahead and win this last set on the map.
Putting them at a 3-1 score.
Sure does, sure does. And the next map we have is going to be Himmelsdorf, so it's like a complete opposite style of play.
Absolutely.
Except, you guys just saw, it's a big desert map, Wild Wild West. West Side Store, I don't know, it's just like the West theme, I suppose. And yep. But Himmelsdorf is going to be a much smaller, compact city map, and so yeah.
You know, this is going to be a totally different type of map, and we're going to see different strategies. We're going to see these teams do a total 180. And usually, what we see tank-wise on this map is how many AMX ID-100s they're running, 1 or 2. We see sometimes 3. We have seen that before. That usually does pretty poorly because, you know, if you miss your shots, you're just you're sitting duck, and your tank is going to get blown up really quickly to the IS-3. So it's like all about IS-3s, AMX ID-100s. What's the ratio? That's the key here. This map does have like an open courtyard that we can see tanks fight in. Sometimes it's usually where the scouting tank goes and hides behind some of those buildings, gets a good idea with the sixth sense about what's going on, and pulls back. So that's usually where our tier 6s go. We've seen sometimes 2 LTTBs on this map just to further that pushing power if they're going to try to do a big push together. But it ends up oftentimes being suicidal. We only see teams like Horsemen actually able to pull that off.
Well, they are the Horsemen. They like to head in. But you know what? You know what? Actually, let's watch a video clip of Himmelsdorf so we can introduce this map to you a little bit better.
Yeah, let's talk about this map.
So Himmelsdorf is, there we go, this city, like we said, big cathedral in the middle, tons of little buildings that the tanks can hide behind. And it's perfect because the little roads, allow for drive-by shootings, and the little roads allow for hiding and like peekaboo games. Yeah,
no, you're absolutely right. And I mean, peekaboo games is a good way to put it, because when you poke around the corner, you never know what you're going to run into. You don't know how many tanks are waiting there. Even if you know there's something over there, you don't know how many, what type of tank it is. So, as you can see, the 2 capture points, one very far to the west, the other one very far to the north. The defending side spawns in the middle. They can actually send tanks down both sides. One tank is always going to be looking down that courtyard in the middle of the map to make sure no one's trying to sneak through there. Usually that's the tier 6 that'll try to do that just to get some more extra vision. The attacking team is going to have to choose between one of a few approaches. Usually they try to rush towards the west side capture point and kind of aim down those tracks that are very narrow there on the end to get a good idea about where the defending team is set up. It ends up kind of being a slow push, a slow grind, which is getting those IS-3s over to where they need to be.
Okay, well, I think we're going to be getting some player changes, actually, now that we're on a different map. But yeah, Himmelsdorf, I like this map. I like how the 5100s work on this.
Yeah.
I know you're not a fan of them.
Well, I mean, it's not that I'm not a fan of them. I just always question, how they're used. Because if you are able to basically, if you can use them properly and get their damage, they're great. But if you mess it up, then it's I mean, it's just wasted potential, it feels
I know what you mean. I do know what you mean. All right, so team efficiency is going to change players. We're going to take out Dexta and put in Maw back into the lineup.
Interesting. Dexta had a rough day today, for sure. So I think it's fair that they would switch them out here because Dexta, one of their better players, but just simply not having a good day. He's missed a lot of his shots on his lightweights he's been running, so I do worry for him, and maybe he's having a bit of an issue. Maybe he's got some lag. We don't know the exact reasons, but he's having some issues today, so to swap him out here does make a lot of sense to me, Susie. Okay,
well, tanks are getting chosen in the lobby right now, and we're probably going to get into the game pretty soon. Do you think we'll see any 1390s?
It is very possible. That's a good question. I don't think we'll see more than one, and that's for both teams. Like the likelihood is so small that I don't think we're going to see one on each team. I think the attacking side, which in this case is going to be the Immortals, might run one, maybe. But the chances are low. Still possible, though. We have seen it a lot. And it looks like the game is ready.
All right, sounds good. So we will see what the tanks are on this first game on the new map, Himmelsdorf. Set number 5, ladies and gentlemen, Team Efficiency versus Immortals, and the Immortals are up 3 to Team Efficiency's 1. Immortals on the attack first, and their tanks?
3 IS-3s apiece, 3 5100s for Team Efficiency. That's the dangerous number. That's a half and half. They're running the T-37 as their lightweight tier 6. And on the side of the Immortals, they're bringing, of course, that tank destroyer, the Waffen. So that's what they've decided to use instead of that 4th IS-3. And with 2 AMX at 100, it's a pretty balanced lineup. Tank destroyer here, similar to the the AMX 5100, in that it needs to do its job. It needs to penetrate one of these tanks or get a critical hit, or it ends up being essentially useless as well. It doesn't have a lot of armor, and it is kind of going to lag behind a bit. It's a very slow tank. We do see it actually splitting off from the group here quite a bit towards the east side. Now Ma is going to rush his way past the courtyard, actually going all the way to the end of these tracks in order to spot this push, and he is going to see everything. So a good move here by Ma. Now he just needs to get out safe.
Whoa, look at that. They're just going to come around all the way to the south side and around. It looks like they're going to be able to spot Ma.
Yep, he needs to get out of there. This is the dangerous time here.
This is a dangerous time, and he's able to see it. He can tell his entire team what's going on. Unreal Rogue is going to stick around and see if he can take some shots while the rest of the team goes back into the buildings for better cover. Right now, I mean, Ma is so far south. I'm really worried for him.
Yeah, he's still getting a lot of good information, and he's still relatively safe behind that little rubble of a house. But if he gets, if he wants to leave, he's gonna have an issue. So eventually these tanks will surround and kill him. So he's gonna have to make a choice very soon. Do I stay here and take the hit, or do I try to escape?
Man, yeah, but all of the members of Immortals, pretty much, except for the tank destroyer, are all the way down south. This might be good. I mean, maybe they could just focus down and then make sure they have one less tank to worry about.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely what they would like to do here, but Ma's positioning is really good. Even though he's away from his teammates, he's in a place where he can't be hit. He's got an entire house blocking any shots that come his way. Even Unreal Rogue is trying to find an angle, trying to find like his treads or like just his backside sticking out slightly. Not going to happen. So right now we see the tanks actually rotating back because Ma is there, and because he's giving vision, they feel like, okay, well, there's likely to be other tanks coming to fault for the defense. And the Waffen here is just not actually that good at scouting. It is in a good position to see things up here on top of this building, but because of the positioning of the team efficiency, you can't really see any of those tanks over there. So the safer choice here for the Immortals is to move back and support him rather than try to force that western capture point. I mean, that's like from their decision making. If you look at the map, they could have tried to force the issue easily, but they don't know that, so they're actually playing it safer here and moving back.
I think that's smart too. Now, I mean, you talked about the Waffen, and considering it's a tank destroyer, it actually does have decent accuracy, you know, and it has a full 360-degree arc of fire, which is obviously good for him sitting all the way up top, but, you know, bad depression values, but he's able to still take those shots.
If he takes a direct shot like that on Death Skies, I mean, 400 damage from that far away to an IS-3. That's so nice. That's so important. That's a great. It's almost like he's trying to be an SPG here. He's going up on the high ground. He's taking these tanks up from far away. Bad positioning there on Death Guys to actually be in a place where he could have been fired upon by there, because we've seen time and time again these tank destroyers actually position themselves on top of that high ground there. Now we're going to see this position on the corner capture point.
Yes.
By the Immortals, sending Sun in on the IS-3. And Catan is here to support. If Idis comes in, he might take a shot.
He's a long-range sniper, man, and he's got some good shots. He's going to have to look around. Ooh, Maw goes out and takes Unreal Rogue out. Immortals are down 1 man.
Yep.
Slowly, they're just going to start taking shots at one another. Team efficiency. You know what? I'm pretty impressed with their play this round.
It's been pretty tight. They're not gonna lie. Sirius over here in a good place to take shots off on the Elite.
Oh wow, that was
he needs to move. He's gonna get it again.
Critical hit on Elite, and he actually does great in just avoiding that. Death Skies takes a ton of damage. He is being focused down, and the poor guy has 295 HP left.
He's going to get taken out here by Blackheart, it looks like. The Sirius does take some damage. Sun actually takes the kill there on Death Skies. D-Juice does have full rounds available to him on this 5100. He's trying to rush his way in here. Siki takes out the Sirius, but he was very low anyways already.
Absolutely. This little... Man, you do not want to be a kid running across the street right now on this road.
No.
Because there's so many shots being fired. D-Juice is going to try to come up and unload his shells, all those rounds on Hades. We'll see if he can do it. But Ningyo is also right behind him.
Ningyo actually
Ningyo's now, for him, yeah, but he's out now.
Yeah, he knows he's basically a paperweight at this point in the rest of this game. D-Juice is now as well, so Hades can actually take him out. Hades doesn't know exactly the rounds that were left probably, but he sees that D-Juice is running away, so he knows that that's probably the case. This is a very aggressive move here by Catan, but he's actually going to outposition here. Idis almost takes him out there, but Blackheart can get another shot for free.
Blackheart can get another shot for free. It looks...
He's using the fact that Catan's length of the barrel is just so long that he can't actually fire.
I know! Oh my gosh, and he keeps hitting him. Yep, and he goes ahead and explodes. Maw, on the other hand, Hades is trying to just ram and damage him, shoot him, and hit him.
Blackheart takes out Idis, and Maw trying to outposition Hades here, but he does get that shot. And now D-Juice with 44 seconds left.
Oh man. He has a long cold... his reload timer was like at 80 seconds.
Yeah.
Must be one of the items that he's got.
But keep in mind that with this, the base capture will have to occur because D-Juice is far away. He has a lot of hit points. But look at this. He won't be able to deny base capture for 25 more seconds. So his base capture essentially has 20 seconds left. And when he's ready, he could take a shot. But he's going to expose himself, of course. And these are two IS-3s that if they position themselves properly and if they don't miss their shots, should easily be able to take him out in a fight. And that's why, this is going to be a very difficult attempt here. Now, 5 seconds left. He's getting ready to go for the attempt here. Absolutely still a winnable game for team efficiency. It's all up to D-Juice.
It's up to D-Juice, but I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do 20 seconds.
If he denies it even once, he will probably win the game. 25 seconds to go on the game clock. He's too far away, though. I'm not actually sure he's going to be able to get there in time. Too far away. Was he going to the wrong capture point? I think he was.
I don't even know. I think so.
I don't think he can get there in time.
3 seconds left, and...
Doesn't look like he's going to make it.
Oh my goodness.
Just on the wrong side of the map. Misjudged the situation. His teammate's probably going to be kicking him for that one. Immortals will take their 4th win and will take a 4-1 lead. 1 win away from taking this series.
I see that. I would laugh really hard if D-Juice got kicked for this next game and someone else came in for it.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was a totally... I mean, as far as my understanding was, maybe he was nervous that they were in a different place and they might have been able to hit him, but, I mean, that's not how that capture point works. It looked like he really thought they were on the other capture point, which he didn't have vision of. He's the only tank on the map. No one could spot for him.
Yep.
Maybe his teammates were telling him, no, I don't think he's there. I think he's capping the other side. And he went there, and he was at the wrong place, and then he didn't have enough time to get across. Had he been able to hit just 1 shot on these, would have denied it enough time to where it would have probably actually timed them out. So very, very close game there.
Yes.
But he made the wrong decision at the very end.
It happens, right? I mean, it was a 50-50 shot. Which base capture am I going to? And he just made the wrong decision. But, wow, that was a nail-biter all the way to the end.
Yeah, that was actually really, really close. And that makes the next game more exciting because it feels like we're seeing these two teams really know how to play this map. And I got to say, team efficiency, really impressing me today. Not winning all their games, not hitting all their shots, but their movements, their decision making, their reaction time, very, very impressive. Really, the score, that 4-1 that we're looking at right now, not exactly indicative of how close these teams have been playing in this series. Yet the Immortals have been taking the very end of these wins, but some of these games have been very, very, very close.
They have been extremely close. And yes, like I said, I was very impressed with how they played on Himmelsdorf, especially. Steps not so much, to be completely honest with you, but on Himmelsdorf, that was very well executed, and it could have gone either way. And now we're going to change sides. We are going on to set number 3 on this map. And we're going to have to see how team efficiency does on the attack.
Yeah, really curious to see if we're going to see any tank or player swap outs. Would not be surprised to see swap outs on team efficiency because I've been doing that a lot today. And just really rolling around whether they want to use Ma or not, or Elite. We've seen a few swaps here and there. So honestly, I say keep Ma in. I think he's doing fine. But it's up to them to decide. And tank swap-wise, we might see a Destroyer added to team efficiency as well, as they'll now be on the attacking side. You can use that castle high ground location with the WAF. And we've seen that before. We saw that last week. We're seeing it today, becoming more of a popular shift here in Asia.
All right, well, game is ready. This might be the last one, guys. Let's get into it. Set number 6, we have Immortals up 4, team efficiency 1, and they have switched sides, but the icons haven't shown us that.
Yep, well, we'll have to take a look at that a bit later. Well, team efficiency running the same compositions. Actually, no,
I think everyone is.
I think we miscounted here because this is just the second game on this map.
Oh gosh, I'm so sorry.
I believe so. Yeah, that's all right. No, I understand
oh my gosh, you're so right. I don't know why I was thinking that. Okay, no, it is game 6.
Yeah, it's game 6.
It's game 6. Same sides. Okay, so now team efficiency is still on the defense. I do apologize.
That's all right. That's quite all right. Still
I'm not apologizing to you. I'm apologizing to the viewers.
I'm answering for them because I don't care what they think. It's totally fine. It's actually totally okay. Totally reasonable mistake. Because you fooled me too. I was actually confused as well. Now, 3 AMX 5100s, 3 IS3, same lineups for both teams. Catan again on the Waffen is going to be able to rush around that west side, take the high ground, east side. It's what I like to call the castle. It's not exactly a castle, but it kind of looks like a castle.
I think it is a castle, and it definitely is the high ground. Yeah. So you're not wrong there. Unreal Rogue is going to hide in that little nook there. The T-37 for team efficiency, again, heading all the way down south. Ma in a compromising position, but a good one nonetheless, because he gets to get better visibility on what's going on. No, look at that. It is definitely a castle, man.
Yeah, it's totally a castle. Look at that. That's a rad castle, actually. We're going to have to start calling that Waffen Castle.
Waffen Castle. Why does it sound like a waffle castle?
Well, I hope they have Belgian waffles in there. Those are the best.
That's delicious. I don't think this, or like German waffles, since this is Germany, Himmelsdorf,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so as we have our banter, you can see everything is kind of quiet on the home front. We can see people trying to aim at one another, but nothing really showing.
Ma is like really moving in. He actually wants to try to do some damage to Ningyo.
Yeah, I think he does.
This is insanely risky.
Ningyo and Ma obviously have seen each other. They know what's up. Blackheart is going to soon be in on this secret here. Ma's over there, guys.
Yeah. A much better position here for the Immortals to take out. Ma is just trying to slowly escape, maybe perhaps down this train. I hope there's not any dangerous chemicals left in those tanks, because that would be very explosive.
Blackheart really trying to hit right in between these little chemical-filled train cars, but Ma's doing an amazing job just hiding out.
Very impressive, actually. He's bringing a ton of information here. And because the Immortals haven't been able to punish him for it, it doesn't matter. Now they're starting to, though.
Oh, yeah, they are. And
but
that
he still
one
escapes.
hit, I know, but that one hit just takes him down to under 300 HP.
Yep. Well, he's basically just simply an observer right now, watching where his opponents are moving. And Catan is moving towards this. He's moved past the castles. He's moving down this position. He wants to hit one of these AMX 100s. Last time he got a great shot off on Itis, doing a ton of damage. Let's see what he can do this time. He's moving in here. Basically being a tank destroyer sniper down this street. No one's looking for him.
No one is looking for him. And while we were talking, Unreal Rogue did take a ton of damage as well. Under 150 HP for this guy. But he still has 4 shells. And he's a 12-ton, so I mean, he can still zip around fairly fast enough.
Yep, this looks like he wants to try to maybe pick off a bit of Grift's hit
Yeah,
points.
he looks like he wants to see if he could take some kind of damage on him, but I do fear for his safety.
Big push here through the city. Meanwhile, as you know, the Waffen has shown that these tanks are positioned towards the north.
I love that Blackheart and the Sirius are working together. This is the way it should be, right? IS-3 kind of protecting the Sirius. The 5100 is going to take his shots, and nice hit by the Catan on
Catan
Elite.
is so good on the tank destroyer. I actually really am starting to like his play a lot. And Elite again is exposed here. He needs to move. If he doesn't move, he's going to take another shot. He's stationary. Watch this. He's going to move right around the corner and take another shot. Yeah. This happened last game as well, with not Elite, but with the other player that was on the IS-3. Itis took the damage the same way. He just sat there and didn't move. And he does move now and is free for the moment.
No, Elite
Actually, no, he's still here.
There. He's still in the corner.
He's got the T-time, but still, I mean, this is a tank destroyer. You've got to be very careful. Look at that. 477 hit points.
Oh, man. That's a hit. That's definitely a hit. And Elite needs to do something about it. There you go. Hide a little bit more so we can't see you, man.
I don't see the advantage of sticking his back out like that. I just don't see it. I mean,
I don't either.
Well, it looks like he's actually out. Maybe because if he moves this far forward, he gets a bit exposed through that diagonal crossfire. He's basically stuck between a rock and a hard place. And once these players come in here and take him out, they actually have a good place to capture from.
Yes, they do, and they're coming around. Okay, so we have the 12-ton and the IS-3 trying to, get this base capture on that corner that we really like that's hidden. Catan is going to join the rest of his buddies and see if he can snipe out any of the tanks. He knows Elite is still there. I'm sure he knows this.
And if he takes out Elite and is in the capture point, it's going to increase, of course, the capture ability. I think this is a bit risky by Catan, though. Not sure how much I like this.
Oh, he is going to help out with the base capture. Base capture in 20 seconds. Oh, no. Someone took damage.
Yep, IS-3 took some damage.
Elite is going to go down very, very soon, though.
The AMX-200 blocks for Catan here. Ningyo in a position where he cannot hit Elite, and Elite wants to take another shot. 10 seconds to go on this base capture. They need another shot, and I don't know if they have one lined up. Okay, there it is. Death Skies comes in to save the day.
But they're going to return the fire and go ahead and take out Siki. Elite, considering how stationary he's been, he's still alive, and that's pretty impressive. Yeah. D-Juice goes down. Sun takes him out. Death Skies says, nope, I'm going to try and make sure this capture does not happen. Elite finally goes down.
This is actually really close still.
This is really, really close.
The problem being that they've got one shot left on their AMX-600. There it goes. Didn't hit anybody. Now 40 seconds to go on that. Death Skies has one shot left, here, but he fires so slowly, reloads for 10 seconds here. And
Blackheart is almost back up, and he can take that shot on Death Skies. But Itis is going to come around and try to protect him instead.
Hades, can he get the shot?
Oh,
Grips gets so low.
Oh, gosh. Grips is almost back. Oh, man.
He escapes. He escapes for now. Blackheart takes a good shot and actually escapes using that tusk.
Was perfect.
And he needs to get another shot.
Yep.
On Itis if he can. Coming in here alone, so risky. Sun coming to back them up now finally, though. And look at that shot.
Wow.
Perfect shot on Itis. This is the accuracy that's so important that team efficiency is not showing us today, that the Immortals are showing. And that's why it looks like they're going to take this 5-1. Death Skies will be taken out. And now, even though Grips has his shells up, he is not going to be set for defending here.
At 85
But they need to find him, actually. 10 seconds left. 10 seconds left. And if they don't find him, if they don't kill him here, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And escape he does, and team efficiency is going to take the win.
I didn't even see that. Oh my goodness, that clock, man. I totally forgot. The clock completely works for the favor.
I was looking at the base capture clock, and I got a bit distracted. Yeah.
I'm looking at that like, oh man, 90 seconds. Wait, you're right. There's 5 seconds left on the game clock.
Not being able to finish him off there ended up being the biggest problem, and they were able to take that win. A very shaky win, not a win they're going to feel good about. But
each of these games have been coming down to the wire. I mean, this is really, these have been some phenomenal games.
These are the best types of World Tanks games, Susie. They're my favorite by far.
Okay, now they're switching sides. I apologize.
No,
I got ahead of myself. But now they are switching sides, and we're going to have Immortals on the defense. And so we'll see if they'll change their tanks up for that.
Yeah, let's see if we see the Waffen coming in, going on to the team efficiency. They're going to take that castle high ground, try to take those shots, and we'll see if the positioning on the IS-3s on that defensive location at that capture point is a little bit more tight, because in my mind, basically, if we take a look at this game almost objectively, it was like Team Efficiency lost that last game. They barely had less than 100 hit points left on an AMX 5100 that escaped for like 5 seconds, and they won the game.
85 HP on that guy had. I mean, he still had like 4 shells on him, but still, he just like ran away and said, "This is probably the safest way for me to go." The other two just couldn't flag him down.
Yeah, because they were trying to capture the point, which was. It's almost like they weren't looking at the clock either, because that certainly was not going to work with 2 tanks with 15 seconds left to go. So let's see what they decide to run with.
I think they are going to swap out players, as far as I know right now.
Yeah, it's starting to look that way. Just looking at the lobby right now, we did have a bit of a swap there.
Okay, yeah, Team Efficiency is going to swap out players. We're going to take out Siki and put in Dexta.
Okay. So that's going to be that's pretty interesting. Just to have Dexta back in, he was out for a little while there. He was having a bit of a tough time on steps, but maybe bring him in here is going to bring him some good luck. They're playing very well on the map. Their best play so far they've seen in this series, and they took that last one very narrowly, but the previous game was also very close.
Yes, it was.
And to bring Dexta back in here, maybe brings them a little bit like pushes them over the edge.
Yeah, and Team Efficiency again being on the attack now. Probably different strategy, different gameplay. So we will see how that runs for them, and we're going to go straight into the next game. Okay, set number 7. Immortals up 4. Team Efficiency slowly clawing up. They have 2 wins now, and now on the attack.
All right, let's talk about these tanks. Susie, Team Efficiency running on the attack, 2 5100s, 4 IS3s, that's what I like to see, and the 12-ton, versus a very, 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 same lineup from the Immortals, 2 5100s, 3 IS3s, and the Tank Destroyer. Now, I wonder, even though if they're on the defense, they're going to try to rush that Tank Destroyer up to the castle, because it still can be done. You have to go through the city a little bit, because there's a few buildings in the way you can't go there directly like you can from the attacking side. But nope, looks like he's actually just going to move towards the courtyard. Maybe he can take a shot through there. Likes to be kind of like a Tank Destroyer sniper.
Well, basically, it does have a very long range to it. And considering, like I said, considering it is a Tank Destroyer, it has pretty good accuracy on it. He just can't get caught out.
Yeah, if he does, it's going to be lights out. So,
ooh, I like how the rest of the team is actually going up to the high ground. We don't really see this all that
almost
much.
Never. Looks like they're trying to ambush from, like, I think they're going to go up there, poke around a little bit, see if they can spot anybody, take a shot or two, and then move back down. So I think they're going to come back down in a moment here, down that road, straight in the front.
Secret party up by the castle.
Definitely keeping the Immortals guessing, because they're expecting the more common approach to the west.
Yeah. And you can see that the Immortals over by the railroad tracks, that's where they would have gone, right? And so they're over there, the 12-ton, going to make his way down south and west.
He's going to scout, and he's going to reveal himself. He's going to make it look like there's multiple tanks there. They're actually coming now down this ramp. So moving down towards that location just a little bit slower, using that castle location first. Dexta takes... Well, actually, looks like he just took aim and didn't take a shot.
Yeah. Okay, so we have Team Efficiency. They're going to come trending down. They went up, and then they decided they're going to come back down. They haven't really taken any shots yet. Again, very quietly and patiently played this time around. And this is impressive, Okay, Death Guy's making some noise as they head into the city. You can see him just knocking into cars and not flagpoles, what are those called?
Telephone poles.
Telephone poles?
Light posts.
Yeah, whatever.
a few of those type things.
Pole things.
Poles with lights on them.
And they're going to try to peek around.
Ooh, this is actually really risky, but they might actually give him a kill on Unreal Rogue, but nope, a miss. Total miss there, actually. That was a pretty bad shot. Accuracy today being definitely the bane of Team Efficiency.
That is the name of the game for them. Yeah, the accuracy. The drive-bys are not as good. If there was any team that was going to do a drive-by shooting while I was in one of these buildings, I think Team Efficiency, I would be okay with that because they probably wouldn't hit me.
Yep. By the way, I just want to point out these two MX 5100s are up on the castle ground here, trying to take a shot from above. Not able to connect any of those, though, and it looks like they're considering trying to make their way back down to this capture point. And we are seeing that corner cap attempt here. Sun taking a bit of damage, actually. Not sure where that occurred. It looks like over here trying to deny this capture. But look at this. With 4 IS3s, this is what I like to see on this map. I think this is definitely the best comp, in my opinion. It's just the way to go. You can protect your teammates. You can hold this capture point. You can take a bit more damage. You can, maybe ricochets protect you. Oop, that tank destroyer.
Oh, no, but yeah, tank destroyer and the AMX 50-100 is going to come around. Elite is going to be taking a lot of damage into the face. Wow, that was a critical hit. Elite taking so much damage right there.
But is this worth it for the Immortals? They take way too much for this. I don't think this is worth it. They need to get their AMX 50-100s in here to do the damage. They're totally out of position. This is a bad choice. It's going to cost them dearly. They lose Ningyo, and Blackheart may fall as well here. Hades taking a ton of damage. Dexta avoiding damage. A ricochet off of his back there, and the Immortals are in some serious trouble. Team Efficiency in a great position to take this game. If they can keep up the momentum. If they can keep up the momentum, it is a 5v3 game as of right now. The Sirius is going to try to take them out, but I don't know, man. I think you're right. That was a bit rash. Yeah, that was a pretty rash decision, and Blackheart's so dead. He's got no chance here. Takes out Idis, but let's see if Deathsky makes a huge mistake here, maybe, because the Sirius
Blackheart needs to hide behind that. Nope, he should have hidden. He does take a little more damage off of Deathsky's, but one more shot and he is done as well. Blackheart.
Yeah, I was just going to say, D-Juice totally outmaneuvering the AMX 50-100 and takes him out as well. We're going to a game number 8.
Wow, Team Efficiency. I'm sure this is the map they wanted. I think
they're playing incredibly well.
They're playing really, really well. Let's talk about that play, the game-changing play by Immortals.
They ran into the capture point trying to attack it with 3 IS-3s there.
Right.
They knew that there were at least 2. They didn't know there was a third one there, but still, they ran around a corner with an AMX 5100 and a tank destroyer. 2 very vulnerable tanks without any vision of knowing where those tanks were positioned. Just a bad choice. I mean, almost completely objectively, you look at this and it's like, okay, if you've got 2 of your squishiest, easiest to destroy tanks, your 2 biggest damage dealers, and you know there's at least 1 IS-3 around the corner, that's tough enough to approach with that. You know there's at least 2 and possibly more that you don't know about, you don't know where they're positioned. Moving around that is if you're thinking about it and if you're calm, you're not like in the heat of the moment like they were in this game, you never make that choice. They made the choice, took way too much damage. They took out Idis, I believe it was. They took out 1 tank, but the rest of them just took too much damage. They both fell. And then the AMX 5100 was out of position, got killed by a 12-ton.
It did, and then the rest of the team just took too long to get there to try to give some cover fire, but that was a game changer. That was definitely the downfall of Immortals.
Yeah.
I say, yeah.
So, I mean, that was a bit disappointing, to be totally honest. I felt like that was just a poor decision. And we've seen this happened already in this tournament a few times.
Okay.
And, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, we've got to make sure we don't get too distressed by this. We were ahead 4-1. Now Team Efficiency is making a comeback. 2 wins in a row.
If they win this next one, they get the 3 points. If they don't, they're going to go into a tie-breaking game, and the most they could win is 2.
Exactly.
And so that's going to be a big hit. Again, this is 5th place and 6th place on the ranking list, playing against each other, and obviously these points really, really matter,
Yeah, they really do, especially for these 2 teams. They're not really competing with each other so much directly, but they're competing with the teams near them for placement. So every point you can get in the tournament matters, but this is really important for these 2 more than it matters for, say, Elong or Karen Tiger, where their tournament life is not really being affected here.
Okay, well, game is ready. We're going to go right into set number 8. Set number 8. And I think something is wrong with the map. Oh no, guys.
Well, doesn't look like the Immortals spawned in just yet, but tankless, we can talk about that briefly. 3 50-100s, 3 IS-3s for the Immortals, and for Team Efficiency, 2 and 4, just like before. I think this is the best composition for this map. I said it before, it worked out well for them last game.
I knew the Immortals were going to probably get rid of that, the Waffen there, and I think that was a really smart choice. Okay, so both teams have loaded now. Sorry guys for that small little scare, but
everything's okay.
Everything's okay. Immortals just needs to win this if they want those 3 points.
Yep, very important here. Team Efficiency can only hope for 2. But we do see that this is the normal movement you see with the 12-ton on this map, is rushing that courtyard. Get that vision. Very safe out there. and then of course moving down. See, I like the way the Immortals is playing this on the defensive because they're bringing their AMX-200 and the IS-3s to the south instead of sending their 12-ton there where he's very exposed, because then you don't really have to worry as much about where your tanks are. We do see the castle is taken by these heavy tanks, 250-100s and the IS-3 up here.
Oh, okay, and Dexter is going to take first hit.
Yep, attempts to hit Sun here. They both fire one round at each other as they pass through. Better accuracy again on the side of the Immortals, but just for a little bit of damage. This is not a game changer per se.
No, but I mean, that's got to be a blow to the ego, right? Like, you guys both kind of take a shot at each other, and one hits and the other doesn't. We can see the members of Team Efficiency coming down the hill from the castle and headed up to the north capture point.
Yep. And
the AMX, the 12-ton is going to sit right in the courtyard. I think that's good. The eyes for the rest of the team, and yeah, I mean, it's if you guys look on the mini map here, you can see that we have a bunch of tanks up north, but we also have tanks rushing the courtyard. It looks like they want to take the Immortals off guard by trying to push from two different directions.
Yeah, well, it's definitely going to mess with their vision. They're like, oh, tanks are from two sides. How many? I don't know exactly which type of tanks they are. This is a very risky move. They actually take out a ton of Unreal Rogue's health. And just a drive-by. The first time of the Team Efficiency has actually been able to successfully hit something
I was just going to say that. Oh, I'm surprised that they were able to do that. But you know what? Good for them, finally. It's long due. And
now attacking this location here. Just forcing two tanks in this position. Last time the Immortals got very hasty and sent their AMX-100 around the corner. Ningyo, don't you dare.
Ningyo, just wait for Blackheart to get there.
Needs more than that, actually. Okay, Sun is here. This is important.
All right, but Dexter is also around the corner and going to try to make sure that, you know, his buddies are safe.
Oh boy,
all right.
Catan taking way too much damage.
Yes, and they are going to have to alternate how they shoot at each other.
Okay, now they're going to rush Idis here and Elite. They're going to stop this capture point, but that's all they need to do for now. They don't need to push this position too hard.
Catan goes down.
This is looking terrible for the Immortals again. Unreal Rogue falls now. And they're in a bad position. They're getting way too impatient with the stopping of this capture point.
Yes, they are. And Ningyo, you shouldn't be up front. He has a couple more shells left. He's got 4, and he's going to try to take them out. But, I mean, obviously Team Efficiency is going to be surrounding them. There's nothing they can do. Immortals are dropping like flies. They are totally mortal at this point. They only have 3 tanks left.
Yep. And this is not looking good. There goes Blackheart. Hades to fall soon as well, as soon as they rotate around on him.
Ningyo is down. He's got a 30-second cooldown timer, basically.
Way too desperate.
No, yeah, that was not smart at all.
It just doesn't make sense. If you're going to do this, you just need to poke and deny the cap, run down the clock. You're on the defense, you're not on the attack, you're not the one who has to force something to happen. Hades falls, and Ningyo will in just a moment here as well. 3 minutes left on the clock. There it is, GG. We're going to a tiebreaker. Team Efficiency will take that 8th set, and we're going to go to Ruinberg for our tiebreaker.
No, that was really well done. I think that was the best game that I've watched Team Efficiency play. They baited them perfectly. They knew that Immortals was going to get hasty, and even with that tank change, Immortals really just weren't able to execute the way that they should have.
Yeah. That was a bit disappointing again there for the Immortals. Making the same mistake twice seems to be a bit of a weakness for them on this map. And they ran the 3 AMX-5100s. You do that, a little bit tougher to assault a position like this. The AMX-5100 is a tank that if you spot another tank and you are free and you are defended, you can blow all your damage out and you're going to be great. If you're trying to run around a corner into IS-3s with it, you're never, ever, ever, ever going to get your money's value out of it. Looks like we're going to take a look at our map here. Let's take a look at Ruinberg and break it down a little bit for you guys.
And Ruinberg being the tiebreaker map, like we said today. Let's take a look at this. You know, I am worried for Immortals here because it's another city-type map. And obviously tonight, Team Efficiency has been all over those cities.
Yeah. You know, accuracy not as important when you're firing in such a close range, basically at point-blank range. Looks like Team Efficiency will be starting on the defending side of this map. So if you take a look at this map, you'll see there's a bit of a more open area. Imagine the railroad track side of Himmelsdorf type area, but even a little bit more open than that. Here's a mini map. The rest of the map is about half Himmelsdorf. So it's like half Himmelsdorf, half the edge of Himmelsdorf, almost like a ghost town type feel a little bit. So this map is definitely going to be for the defender, all about controlling the outside here, and for the attacker, it's how do you escape from the city, basically, and approach one of these capture points.
Absolutely. Like I said, okay, so team efficiency is on the defense. Immortals are attacking. Does it really matter on a map like this, though, which side they are on?
I think it does, because, so let's talk about this actually. You raise this is a really good question, because if you're on the attacking side, notice where you spawn. You spawn in the middle of the city, and you've got 3 main pathways to go down. They're very exposed if your opponent gets into a better position. You have to basically find your way out of the city to force something in the capture point, so you're kind of like escaping. And I really like to use this analogy because it feels like you've got to get out of the city because you're not going to get anything done there. There's no point to stay in the city. You need to get out of there. You need to find how you're going to leave and which path you're going to take. I feel like the defender has a pretty big advantage on this map. And you know, as it is, if you're on the defense, you need to control those 3 roads. Make sure you have tanks by them. Make sure you have tanks to fire down those. Don't let them leave, and then try to slowly run the clock out that way. Big, you know, heavy tanks are going to be important here. This is the map we're going to see the 1390s on. Yeah. I feel it's really good because they're a bit of a mix between that damage and the mobility.
Yeah,
they're not as clunky. So I like that lightweight autoloader on this map a lot, especially for the defending side. Because they can, you know, maneuver to try to stop and outposition these tanks.
Okay. I don't know. Okay, I'm just looking into the lobby here. I think we're going to see some heavy tanks on this.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, IS-3s.
Obviously. IS-3s always on every map except Steps and Lakeville. Well, actually, even on Lakeville.
No, even on Lakeville. Even on Steps, actually.
Except on Lakeville when you go to the north, and except once when you occasionally put an IS-3 on Steps. You're always going to see IS-3s basically on every map. They're the best tank right now to add into the mix because they're going to block, they're going to do damage, they're going to be able to, if you position them right, ricochet the damage. It's an incredible tank. It's, I think, the strongest tank of the game right now. It's just the one that you're always going to mix them in. On a city map, they're always going to be the biggest part of your composition.
Yeah.
Now, how many AMX 5100s versus how many AMX 1390s we're going to see really, I feel, depends on stylistically how these teams want to play and attack defense. I'd like to see on the defense 1390. I think is a good choice.
I don't know. Just considering how they've been playing, both teams just playing very slow and steady, I think they're probably going to go with more of the 5100s. Do more damage, and they can play slower, especially paired with the IS-3s.
Well, so. they better not. The Immortals better not pick 3 5100s because that is not the way to go. Too risky. Not able to push out. If you're on the attack and trying to push out of a city, you want to have those tanks that can block for your 2 AMX 5100s that can do that burst damage once they escape into the autoloader damage. You've got 3, you're trying to get out of there. I think it's not as strong. But we're going to take a look at them in just a minute because the game is ready.
Game is ready, guys. Here we go. Set number 9. Set number 9, this is the tiebreaker, and both teams at 4 games apiece. Team efficiency decided on defense, and so, yep, here is the tank list.
This is an insanely strange tank list to me for the map. A ton of lightweights, so which means that these tanks are going to be fanning out like crazy, using mobility. And this is a cool choice for both teams because this is a best of one, this is a one-game thing. So they're both bringing some unique strategy into this. We see 12-ton on the side of team efficiency for their tier 6 on the side of the Immortals bringing a T-37. And we do see 2 IS-3s to 1. Team efficiency bringing 2, and we see just more lightweights for the Immortals, which is basically allowing them to rush out of the city. You know what I'm saying about you're escaping from the city? They're already out. They've got 2 tanks spotted to the other side. And now at this point, team efficiency is starting to figure out, okay, they're moving to the south with these tanks. How do we get into position to control this capture point? Good arcs here so far for the Immortals. D-Juice is spotting right now.
Yes, he sure is. Even though they are out of the city, they're out of the city into the town, which is kind of interesting. But, yep, Catan here, seeing if he could get any shots.
That's really smart, actually. He's poking down exactly where team efficiency would likely be positioned to stop this sort of push. This is a very risky path right there, that little cobblestone road. You definitely don't want to step out too far onto that because anyone who looks down that road will have a great shot on you.
Yep.
As you can see here, they're avoiding touching it completely.
Exactly. Dexter is probably the closest one to here, and he's the one that Catan has been focusing on. but as of right now, no one's taken any damage. Ningyo going to try and start this base capture.
So they're going to use this path to their advantage. They're trying to say, okay, your fastest way to deny our capture point is to go down that path. You've got 2 lightweight tanks there. You've got an AMX 5100 as well nearby to help support. This is a really cool way of approaching things. And I feel like Team Efficiency is going to have to react now. And they've been showing really good reactions so far today in this series. Some of the best play I've seen from Team Efficiency in this tournament. How are they going to do it, Susie? That's what we're going to wait and see. They're very patient right now. They don't need to rush this.
Yep, Immortals, man. Look over on the east side of this map. They are just filed down this road while we have the IS-3 down the middle road. So, I don't know, 64 seconds left on the base capture. Ningyo is still in there by himself. Sirius is kind of close by to be able to possibly help him out with that.
Catan is just in such a great spot to stop these tanks from delaying the capture. He's been a sniper of this game.
Ooh, Ningyo taking some damage. It does bring the base capture back up. D-Juice is the first tank to go down. And now Team Efficiency is down 1 man.
Yeah, and even with what we saw from, you know, the capture denied, it's a good trade. And I really like Catan in this position. He's clearly good at being far away and taking shots, insanely accurate. So we saw him on the tank destroyer out the castle.
Yeah.
And again, taking another shot on the Elite. And Elite is just out here in the middle of nowhere and in an awkward spot.
He is in an awkward spot. He's getting focused by Unreal Rogue and by Catan, and now Sirius is behind him as well. Elite's going to have to get out of that little area.
Blackheart gets focused down off camera there just briefly. Wanted to point that out. And Catan is taking some serious damage here. This is a very close game. Elite, very low. By the way...
Oh, and he's going to have his shell up first. Catan is up. Explodes him.
Hades goes down meanwhile. And the Sirius finally about to have his rounds back. His reload is now complete on his AMX 5100, so he's back as a feature of this game.
Back. Griff's 21 HP, but he's still alive, and that's the important part here. He can still do damage. Catan is just waiting for those reload times. He's up. 11 seconds in between shots for the IS-3.
Ooh, Catan trying to take a snipe here on Death Sky. Such a risky move to be exposed like this. But it looks like Death Sky hasn't realized where he is. Now this base capture is really important because the time is running out. We're reaching that 3-minute moment, which is the first time you really start to worry about time running out. And are you in a good position? Can you retreat? Can you move back to that base capture if need be? What if they run away? This starts to become things that you worry about. Unreal Rogue in a basically perfect position here. No one can stop him now without moving. And he does have enough time to stay here and threaten this without actually moving out to poke. So let's see how Team Efficiency moves to deny him. They are sitting somewhat up to the north to try to pick him off from behind.
I don't know. This Maw coming up by himself to take out 2 tanks. I don't think he realizes there are 2 tanks over there, though. And you're right. Unreal Rogue just sitting pretty in that base capture. And... okay, finally, Team Efficiency from the northeast coming down to see if he can pick off.
Catan needs a block for the series. He's not doing that. Just trying to rely on this tank husk here, which is a tiny little T-37.
It really is tiny, and both of the tanks are going to go down. It's only Sun and Unreal Rogue left. And, man, Griffs have been sitting in 21 HP for a very long time, even though it is now down to a 2v2.
Oh, make that a 2v1. It's essentially a 1v1 if Griffs takes any damage at all. All up the Sun. It's going to be 2 T-54s battling it out with Griffs supporting.
But Griff's doing a great job of distracting. I mean, yes, he's going to go down, but you know what? That buys Idas some time. He's not going to go down without a fight. He's going to try to take some of Sun's HP, and now it's a 1v1.
He has to kill Idas. This is a game of hide and seek. If Idas lives for any reason, he's got 80 seconds left. That capture is too slow.
It's going to be way too slow.
We've seen this already. This is simple math. Does he really think that he can actually capture this? That's just simply not enough time. I think he's realized now that's too long. He has to go. There's not 100 seconds left in the minute. It's actually 60.
What?
And he's coming over here now. And if Sun can just, or rather, if Idas can just avoid death for 58 more seconds, Team Efficiency will win this tiebreaker.
We might just see a hide-and-seek game for almost a minute, man. It's
48 seconds left, and
look at this map. I know.
I don't see this happening. This is literally a hide-and-seek game. Ring around the rosy, a wild goose chase.
And he has nothing to go by. He has no idea
This
where...
is the most frustrating thing ever.
Wow.
Just a lightweight will never be able to catch another lightweight that's on the other side of the map if they keep moving like this. Never going to happen.
I cannot believe this. Itis is just going to literally go all the way around.
If they were to fight right now, Susie, they couldn't kill each other in 20 seconds. It's already over. This is the saddest thing. Sun is just hoping and find him. Itis is just dancing.
Itis is going to like hide behind a house and just hope that Sun doesn't find him at all. Oh my gosh, we have 8 seconds on the clock.
5, 4, 3, 2. He gives up. He shoots it around. 1, and that is it. Team Efficiency will take the win in tiebreaker to get 2 points. Team Efficiency playing the best they've ever played today.
Wow, that was, oh my goodness. A come from behind win, for sure. I mean, Immortals was up already. 4 games, 4-1, and then they just come back and win this in a best of 9. Huh?
A lot of timeouts in this series, which we don't see very often at all, and that was really, really cool. Team Efficiency actually not known to be a solid defensive team until today, where they show on city maps they will not be broken.
Yeah, that was incredible play by both teams. Probably one of the closest series that we've seen so far. But whew, hopefully you guys that was a lot of excitement. Take a 10-minute break, go calm yourselves, and then come back and we will have a whole other series waiting for you.